Morning. Morning, guys. Isang uban. Paabot-paabot tagamay, ha? Paabot-paabot tagamay. Good morning. Sorry, na late to go. Where's everyone? 9, 11. Jovi, good morning. Giselle. Kimberly, Fernando, Monica. Si Albert. Si Charvey. Jamaica. Kinsa pa? Good morning, tanan. Chay Kusa. Chay Kusa. Si Romiel. Romiel or Romel? Si Jane. Good morning, tanan. Sa pa si Jerwin. Maayong puntag. Chinalyn. Good morning. Sa nanguban, 17 so far. Okay. Rafael. Good morning. Alright, so this time, Colleen, abot-abot na. Morning, tanan. Si Kem Lloyd, napod. Goof, morning dong. Si Jerwin. Good morning. Okay. Sige, so this time, I'll be sharing to you this presentation ni Ma'am Bing Belonias sa VSU ni siya. So, this is not my presentation kang ma'am ni. Unya, this will be basically guiding us some tips on how to Adelpha, good morning, Adolfo. Oh, Adelpha, og si Adolfo. Okay, nagsunod kaayo mo. Maria Adelpha og si Adolfo Aman. Luri May. Basically, this will be giving you some tips on how to write your introduction. Luri May, Desiree, 19 na daghan-daghan na ta. Okay? So, ditso-ditso ta. So, should you have some questions, please don't hesitate to type your questions as comments. So, ditso-ditso ta aron ako tag-agi or aron dali ta mahuman sagol tapol ba. I will be asking another set of outputs na po ninyo after this one. Okay, ani na lang. Your output nga to be submitted, daghan na mong utang nako. Okay, will be your tentative topic or title. Tentative pa na ha. Along with your objectives. Okay? Tentative topic or title. Tentative pa na ha. Dili pa man final. And then your objectives. Appeal na ang objectives. Usa na lang pod ka topic. That will be submitted next week. Suman karon. Okay? So karon I'll be sharing you this slides ni Ma'am Belonias, Doc Belonias sa VSU. Si Kaye, si Ethel, si Marciano. Good morning tanan. Alright. So good ta dayon. Okay, unsaon mo na to pagsuwat ang atong introduction or unsa may purpose sa introduction. So kumbaga, ang introduction mura na siya og sinina ana ninyo. So magpagwapo mo na ang introduction, pa-cute-cute mo. So that's a way, okay, of turning on your readers to catch their attention, and at the same time mo padayon sila og basa dili kay muhunong na. So dapat introduction, it doesn't mean nga it's flowery, but rather it should catch the attention of the reader. Now, question: when you write, by the way, you should always put in mind nga ang punto de vista sa inyong reader. Okay, so when you are working on your respective thesis or your field practice reports, okay, not the proposal to naon, but in general na, is ang inyong reader, kinsa man inyong reader. So, ang potential readers nato, sanay ka Monica, sige, send lang. Ang potential readers nato are basically students just like you, and then your teachers, your professors, okay, and then other researchers. So, sila mo inyong ibutang into perspective. Okay? It's a little different when you write for a newspaper. Okay? Ang newspaper, ang target audience sa newspaper is para man sa tanan. Okay? This time, think of your audience or your readers as those people nga parehas nimo og field, parehas nimo og interest. Okay? So, dili na yun ingon nga mo balik ta sa pinaka-basic nga itong hiskutan. You can directly start og unsa nga to ang gustong hiskutan nga topic. Okay, again, it should catch the attention of the readers. it sets the stage for the paper and puts your topic in perspective. And then when writing the introduction, you put yourself in your reader's position. Would you continue reading ba kuno? So dili nimo ayon og suwat, dili gyud ganahan mo basa. So you have to find a way to make it interesting, pero di pud flowery nga mura siya og as if you're telling a story. Yes, you are telling a story, but it's not in a creative way. It's telling a story in a technical way. Okay? Unless when you're writing ang mga devcom people mas maayo ani. When you're writing technical papers nga ang term nila is i-laymanize na, meaning ila nang i-rewrite in such a way nga masabtan na sa common tao. So just like how a newspaper is packaged, a newspaper is basically read by people from all walks of life, na ordinary people, na mga tao nga mga sosyalon and whoever mubasa sa newspaper. So dapat you put that into mind nga mao ni akong audience. Okay? Another example would be kanang mga children's books, di ba? If you've noticed, children's books nga gipangsulat nga gipanggamit ato pag elementary or gamit sa inyong mga anak or inyong mga manghod or whoever, you would notice nga dagko kay pagkasuwat niya, simple ang construction sa English. Nga naman, because it's targeted for a certain audience. Ang audience is katong mga elementary students, mga kinder, mga grade 1. That's the reason why these books are normally gamay ra kayo ang number of pages, dagko po kayo pagkasuwat, and the words that are used are simple nga mga words. Okay? So, you put the reader into perspective. Okay? Kinsa may readers na to? Okay? Your teachers, your advisor, other researchers, and other students nga magsunod ninyo. Okay? Who are interested in the topic. So, basically, ang mubasa are your colleagues. So, kung animal science mo, expect na other animal science people are going to read your paper. Next slide. Okay, unsa may sulod sa ato ang introduction? Mao ni siya ang ato ang parts. Okay, like I said unless it's otherwise specified, you follow sa instructions ni Sir Bert or whoever before. But this time, katawang gihatag ninyo nga guide from UPLB mo tayo sundon. But you would see very similar or naay ginagmay nga mga kalahian. Background information, statements of problem, statements of purpose or scope. Okay, unsa may background information, description of the nature of the problem, and a brief review of pertinent literature on the current state of knowledge or understanding on the topic investigated. So for example, you're going to write mga econ people. Kuntahay, you're going to write about the value chain, for example, of cabbage. Dili na siguro importante nga hisgutan pa nimo og unsay nutritional value sa cabbage. Okay, it doesn't make any sense na. So you go directly og unsay hisgutan. Maybe you can start an intro with unsa ng cabbage, where you can usually find this, and then you talk about the marketing aspect, the value chain aspect na diretso. You really don't need to talk about the kadtong unsa pa ang iyahang tawag aning unsay iyahang nutrients kay kini pertinent literature, pertinent ug layo na kaayo, ayaw na ya, dili man ni siya pabag-anay ang contest nato. Okay, next is ang statements of problem. So mo niya kung gipangayo ninyo ta unsa may problema nga ang uban ninyo bisag unsa na lagi isgutan. I know it's difficult unsaon pag-formulate ang problem, so inyong i-mention din why it's a problem. Okay, so ang statement, and then ang purpose. So yung ana, and then the general method of investigation used. It would be good siguro if I can show you an example. Wait sa ha. Let me see if I can find one paper. Mangita ko og example para nga ma-share na ko ninyo. Research. Sa to. For a while guys ha. Proposals irrigation. Okay, so for example, this one. For example, kini siya, field evaluation of the Argao Open Challenge. This is a very old proposal nga gibuhat ako sa una tanawa 2006 pa din siya. So okay, mo ni ang title, Evaluation, Field Evaluation of the Argao Open Channel Irrigation System. Unsa man akong introduction or rationale, the same ra na siya. Okay. Good morning tanan, abot pa si Beverly, maayong buntag. Si Eric, isa pa wala na akong nag-greet, daghan. Monica, Marian, John Felix, Eric, Beverly, uguban pa. Okay? So, field evaluation ha, mo ni siya. So, first na kong i-mention, readable pa ba? Okay? I think readable pa siguro sa inyo mga phones or inyo mga computers. I also presume nga ang audio nako is okay. Ako nang gidulit ang akong mic. Okay. Again, this is the title of my proposal sa una. Okay. Then, yun sa nako pag-introduce. Okay, introduction or rationale. Nag-iskot ko sa Argao. Okay, Argao is a third-class municipality asa iyang location. It is primarily an agricultural municipality. The main products gihiskutan ang climate niya. Okay? Climate, gihapon siya. Unya, average annual rainfall ranges from 1,353 millimeters. Annual rainfall ni siya. Okay? So, pagkahuman, isunod na ko hisgot. Lowland rice is one of the major products of lowland Argao. Some upland communities are also into producing rice. Okay? Giskutan ako ang Argao, then, unsa ang iyahang products, and then, pag-abot sa second paragraph, I talked about lowland rice na. Okay? And then, akong giskutan nga, lowland rice production is a water-intensive production system. Mga dagkalas og tubig. Giskutan po dire ang estimate nga, para ta makaproduce og usa ka kilo nga rice, we need about 5 cubic meters of water. Gikan pagsugod, hantod paglasta ha. Okay? 5 cubic meters of water. Now, based on rainfall, drainage, and estimated evapotranspiration studies, kinahanglan per hectare or 4,000 millimeters of water is being used by farms. So, 4,000 millimeters, di pa siguro kayo mo kasabot ini. I was discussing this one with my fourth year. You can ask them. Ang pag-measure sa evaporation, or rainfall, is in terms of millimeters. So, kini cubic meters per hectare. Hectare is area. Cubic meters divided by area, you will be left with linear measurement. So, meters or millimeters. So, typically kuno, ang gikinahanglan nga tubig is about 4,000 millimeters. Okay? Pero we only get 1,353 millimeters per year. So, kini, may muna ma-use up sa mga farms. So, taas muna ni karon ang akong ang presentation sa problem. Okay? Statement of the problem. High water demand and low efficiency of water distribution systems. Uneconomical use of water sa farm level. Okay? The former depends on the type of infrastructure. Mo na ni ang problem. I-present nako. The extremely high water demand, low efficiency, o uneconomical use. That's the problem. Niya, naapay ulan nga 1,353 mm lang. O niya, gikinahanglan na to sa farms 4,000 millimeters of water. Okay? So, and then, next paragraph, ang Argao kuno open channel irrigation system is not spared by these problems. In fact, low irrigation efficiencies, water shortage, so money, giisgutan na din ang problema. Then, ako'y mga references. According to Pangan, si Ma'am Pangan, yung ilahaning president sa ilang organizations, mga irrigators, critical months are February, March, and April, where the water is very low. Okay? Cumulative evapotranspiration exceeds that of cumulative rainfall in the months of February, March. So, karon, basically, that's the presentation of the problem. Ingana. And then, explain further, so, then, objectives na. So, therefore, the project is generally aimed to investigate the status, so document the current status, operating conditions and practices, determine the full potential of the Argao open channel, identify the current problems, devise ways on how to minimize, and so on. So, I basically set the stage. This is not perfectly done, but this is during that time was already good enough for me. In 2006, I was already teaching. So I expect na kamo, second year college, pabaya mo, mas, kumbaga, in terms of experience, wahi pa mo gamay na ko. Diba? So, di ko mag-expect po ninyo nga perfect dayon. Pero at least, since you are already being guided, partly, you will try to hit that mark kung saan. Let me show you another example. Okay. Another example. Ipaspas lang to na ako. Ngita ko line. Research. Aquaponics nga proposal. Here's another proposal. Kani, ako gapoy gasulat ani, pero Sir Bert akong gibutang nga first author. This is a proposal. Design development of a scalable vermicomb aquaponics system. So, introduction. Hydroponics connects the growing of crops in an aqueous medium, and that aquaculture is the captive rearing of fish. Aquaponics is the symbiotic combination of these two. So, kumbaga, the first few lines are focused on definitions. Og advantages og unsa ang aquaponics. So, the fishes can eat the introduced food and release metabolites into the water derived from the food, and so on. And then I talked about RA 10068, or organic agriculture. Nga, Act of 2010. Aquaponics has become more relevant in the recent years. Kay, it introduces fish into vegetable culture, and therefore pesticides cannot be used. And then there are various aquaponics systems. There are models, scalable. So basically, again, ang title na to aniha is design and development. So maghimo og bago. Then eventually, so mura na, I started with a definition, no, sa first paragraph. Then second paragraph, I talked about the relevance of the study in relation to the Organic Agriculture Act. Then I talked about the different kinds dinhi systems, different models sumpay lang gihapon nga nagamit og earthworms. Then I talked about sa akong plano nga ang scalable akong gusto. Okay? I introduced the figure, it's okay. And then the objectives. Design a scalable vermicomb aquaponics system, develop an aquaponics system that integrates vermi and the solar culture as additional components, monitor crop fish growth, determine the optimum plant area to fish stocking density ratio. Okay? Then materials and methods. So, am I going too fast? Well, I question so far. So, what I'm trying to say here is, examples lang to. Okay? Kumbaga, again, you are setting the stage. So, you mention ang inyahang parts, no, background information. Normally, you can start with mas general ng mga statements, and then eventually you go into more specific statements. So, okay, statement of the problem. Ako na nagihatagan example kaganiha. Then statements of purpose, maura na siya. Then scope, hypothesis, then general method of investigation. Next, it should answer kuno the following questions. So kini, I think this is easier to understand, no? Unsa may imuhang gustong tun-an? Diba? What was I studying? Proposal pa man ta kini, human naman kunuhay ni. So what do I intend to study? What is the subject matter? What is known about this topic before I did this study? So kumbaga, partly mahisgutan ang gitawag ng mga literature gaps. Why did I study it? So diba? Unsa may nganong kaniman akong gitun-an? Okay? What are the objectives? Unsa man nga approach ka pwede magamit? Unsa man ang hypothesis? So kining katong mga studies nga pang-education kargado na ana siya mga hypothesis na kaagi mo ana. I don't know if you've gone through statistics, but kaning hypothesis na magugkay kanang statement of the null hypothesis nga mayon ka nga there is a relationship between variable 1 and variable 2 niya. Human tun-an nimo, then you will see whether or not do na bagyod. What did I hope to happen? So, muna yung i-attempt og tubag ng mga questions sa ato ang introduction. Next. Okay, general rules po kuno to follow. Okay? Use the active voice as much as possible. So, unsa man ang active voice? Especially sa method, mas maayo ni siya Ang active voice nag-ingon nga, for example, maingon ka nga, uh, measure 5 cups of water. So, mayon ka nga 5 cups saan na ko pag-state ha. Active mo na ba kag first person ba? So, we measured 5 cups of water and put it in the kettle. In the kettle. Mo ni active voice. Or ang passive, moingon ka nga 5 cups of water was put into the kettle. Murag ing ana gani. So, as much as possible, use kuno active voice kay ang advantage ko sa active voice, it's shorter and easier to understand. Then avoid lengthy or unfocused reviews of previous research. Ang taas kayo niya, walay klaro nga focus. Let me see. Example. Example. As for the study site, we already have an existing screen. Okay, that's a total area that we will use this area that's active for our proposed scalable. So active na. For a brief overview of our proposed vermicomb aquaponics system, let us describe and follow the flow of nutrient ritual. The water will start, so this is active. Activeness yan pagkasuwat ingana. You can ask your English profs pod og unsa na ang active og passive nga voice in writing, and if I'm not wrong, you already went through this even in high school or sa inyong previous year pag first year. Okay? Then cite primary scientific literature as much as possible. Ayaw ang secondary nga mayon ka nga as mentioned by Nuevo. Oh, by the way, how to cite your literature, you can find example citations sa kato akong gihatag ninyo nga reference. Kanumdum pa ba mo sa akong gihatag ninyo nga reference? Let me show you that. Subjects, argo, subject, handout, 2113. Okay, kani siya. Kani. So, you already have this. Okay, follow the format specified in this. Okay, textual presentation. Basically, this is the format nga itong i-follow. Okay? Mao ni. Introduction, main headings. Introduction, review of literature, materials and methods, results and discussion, summary and conclusion, recommendations. Mao ni thesis ninyo. Karon kay proposal pa man akong pangayoon ninyo, you start with introduction, review of literature, materials and methods, then references na ditso. Wala ni siyang 4, 5, and 6. Okay? Field practice manuscripts na din ha. Okay? Yan na pa'y parts sa introduction. Mao ni background of the study, significance of the study, objectives of the study, scope and limitations of the study, then time and place of study. So, ang karon akong pangayoon ninyo is inyuhang topic or tentative title og kaning objectives. Okay? Unya na, uban. Sunod na. Okay? So, naapod siya background sa field practice and so on. Okay? Like I said, unless otherwise specified, okay, follow this one. Asa naman to? Gusto na ako okay. Unya, naapod dihay mga citation style. So, you would see og unsaon pag-cite na Brown. Brown 2003. Then, presentations and references, general format, naara. Ayaw kong ingna niya later on. Og, maingon mo nga, di mo kabalo mo cite og references. So, ingani on pag-cite, naanay example din here. I already gave this to you. You follow the example that I gave you. So, for daghan nga author, first author, second author, third author, fourth author, fifth author, sixth author. Okay? Then, period. Then enclosed in parentheses, this is last name. Then initials of first name, initials second name or middle name. Then enclosed in parentheses year. Then title, book title, year enclosed in parentheses, period ang last din eh. Siyempre, usara ka author, usara ay na isguting uban. Period. Then book title in sentence case. So ang capital ang first ra. The rest lower na. Edition, naka-enclose in parenthesis kung naailain edition. Then period, then place of publication, then colon, publisher. Okay? So, okay? So, for example, place of publication, New York, kunya, dire, Wiley and Sons. O, yan siya. There are so many examples there. Okay? Tanawa ni ninyo, i-go over ni, I cannot discuss everything here. Okay? There are a lot of stuff already there. Na ay presentation sa equation. Okay? Presentation sa figure. Di na na mo labad din yung ulo. Naana na yung mga example din ha. Table, unsaon pag-present sa table, inganion. Okay? Pasing mo ingon mo, sir, wala mo mitudlo eh. Halabasahan na ninyo. Tigulang naman mo. Okay? So, next. Padayon ta. Okay pa? Action nagdugo ninyo hang utok or inyo hang ilong. Ha? Ingna lang ko, dugo na ha. Okay. Limit your introduction ko no to about 3 to 5 paragraphs. Actually, iyaharap po ni. So, there's no hard and fast rules o unsa katas ang inyohang introduction. Siguro, as a rule of thumb, if you want to ask me, maybe mga 2 to 3 pages I think is enough. That's enough. So dili po na. Sometimes it depends mango. Dili na siya ingon nga patas anay o pamove anay. Okay, again ha, always remember, when you write your paper, it's not about the length. Dili ni siya patas anay, dili siya pamove anay. I mean, it would be good if it's short, if you can deliver. So, siguro, as a rule of thumb, the shorter the better as long as you can deliver. Nagani ko noy sa MIT ba to, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the best schools sa tibuok kalibutan. PhD thesis was written for 14 pages ra. Huna-huna lang na. 14 pages ang total. Kasagaran sa mga thesis sa mga estudyante nato dire, including sa mga preliminary pages, na sa mga 60 to 90 pages ang total. So, rule of thumb, again ha, dili patas anay, di pa mubunay. But if you want like sort of guidance sa inyo ha, as short as 2 pages, as long as maybe 5, that's okay. Okay? 2 to 3 is, I think, the optimum. Next, primary, unsa man ang primary literature, okay, stick with journal articles as much as possible or other nga mga thesis works. I did already mention sa inyo ha before nga you consult sa mga thesis na nag-una ninyo. Kay that way, ang pinakadali is mangukay mo sa ilahang recommendations and then mo inyohang himuong proposed study base sa ilahang recommendations. Okay? So, journal articles, annals of botany examples, annals of tropical research, scholarly review articles, reviews of a specific topic or publish. Yan na. So as much as possible, go for journals. You can actually a good way to search is you go search gamit ang Google Scholar. So for example, this one. Okay, you go to ari mong pangita dire Google Scholar. So ari mo pag-search, okay? Or even just Google. So dai mga example mo na akong usually pang pangita sa una. So for example, unsa may atong pangitaon, for example, rice varietal trial. It's two on. So makita na to na books, makita na to politer selection of rice in Nepal, sources of variation, daghan. Okay? So that's very general pagani. So again, as much as possible, stick to primary sources of information, journal articles. Okay? As much as possible, journal articles. Padayon. Next. Mo na ni. It is strongly suggested not to cite general references like encyclopedias, textbooks, lab manuals, style manuals because they contain information considered fundamental or common knowledge within the discipline. So, kanang mga info nga kabalo na ta ba? Okay? So, for example, unsa may common knowledge. Wala lang ta kabalo pero common na nga knowledge. Example, uh, temperature, appropriate temperature to incubate chicken eggs. So you do not usually find that right away, but it is common knowledge. Pila may temperature ko no sa pag incubate og itlog sa manok. Ansire ko no ko without searching. Guess lang, guess. So type comments as your guess or inyohang tag-an. Unsa man ang temperature sa pag-incubate sa manok, itlog sa manok. Okay? So again ha, as much as possible, do not cite general references. Okay? Encyclopedias, textbooks, lab manuals, style manuals. Especially Wikipedia. Okay? Do not cite Wikipedia. Because Wikipedia is common knowledge. Okay? So, I'm waiting for your comments o pilay incubating temperature sa itlog sa manok. I will continue ha. I'm monitoring your comments man. Okay. Unsa may structures introduction, more or less ko na, it's like an inverted triangle, meaning you start with the more general aspects of your topic hangtod padung dito sa specific ones. Okay? So, more general aspects of topic towards more specific topical information that provides context, finally arriving at your statement of purpose and rationale. So, ang katong example nga akong gihatag ninyo kaganiha, aquaponics, I started with definitions, so it's general. Then, it went into a little bit more specific when I talked about Philippines na nga setup, unya Organic Agriculture Act. And then, naghiskot na po ko og different types. Okay? And then, unsa nga type ang akong buhaton. So, ingana, you start with general, patubang specific. Okay? Wala pa may nakatingog lagi. Wala pa may hing-comment og unsay temperature sa manok. Or rather, incubating temperature sa manok. Padayon lang ko ha. Please keep those comments coming para makabal. Oops, sorry. Okay. Then, kana. Wala pa yung mitingog. Wala pa yung mitingog. Okay, next. Okay, unsa man ang background sa study. Balikan na to, background. Okay. Pwede ko ka mag-start by identifying the subject or topic of investigation and then summarize what is known about the specific subject. 37 degrees Celsius. Nag-Google ka, Lloyd? 30 City ba to? Di, murag dili, 30 City. Amura, 37.5 actually. Ang normal temperature, so pwede di ay mulumlum ang tao. Okay? Kung i-Google na to, that's common knowledge na siya ha. So that's an example. So for example, incubating temperature for chicken eggs. 35 to 40 range, di ay 37.5 typically. See? So kini, this is an example of common knowledge. Unya, kining mga Wikipedia nga mga entries 35 degrees bug na range man ni day, so shot pa ni staro 35 to 40 sakto mo tanan, but typically I think is 37.5. I did some research on this also before when I was raising chickens pod, so I have to set my incubator at 37.5. Okay, and then actually duha pa gid mo gikinahanglan, dili lang ka incubator na kay gitawag. Ang incubator can be broken down into two. One ang seater and then ang ikaduha is called the hatcher. So for manok, you put it in the seater at 37.5 degrees Celsius from day 0 up to day 18, and then ibalhin nimo sa hatcher padung na hatch, painitan na nimo gamay around 38 na degrees Celsius for the last 3 days. Dito na sila mapusa. So ingana. Okay? Padadyon. Background sa study, katong overview sa study or rational. Begin by identifying the subject, Then summarize what is known. Okay, summarize what is known. Magbasa mog daghan, musuwat kag usa. Mo na diha ang sukod sa research. Magbasa kag daghan, imong i-synthesize, isuwat nimo og usa. And that's a very difficult part to do. Even kami nga mga teachers na taas-taas na mag-experience sa research, unlike ninyo, still we have problems with this. Nga, mabasa kag na po ka references, o niya imuhang i-synthesize, then you write it as one. And it's very difficult. Most of the time, culprit gani ang mga teachers pag yun. Mangupya rata, i-copy-paste niya, butangan na author. Yung ana ra sa mangita ka online, i-highlight na itong sa kaparagraph niya, human i-copy niya, human i-paste niya, butangan ng author. Actually, that's wrong. So, dapat yun, ikay magsuwat. Pero kamo, basi nung makasabot-sabot rami, ay lang puntahan. Base sa akong remember sa ansay namo, kay pwede halugon or isuksok sa ilok sa tao ang itlog sa itik. So, I thought, pwede sad sa manok. Normal, yeah. Si Kim Lloyd, normal temperature sa tao is 37. Yes, pwede ra gyud isuksok. Mas may gyud, dili maayong lingkuran ang itlog, kay di gina mapusa. Awa ng mga lalaki, kapila na namo na sipit-sipiti na sa among bulog ng itlog, na pusa ba? Hay noon, kana nga itlog, ang balhibo nas gawas. Okay? Ang balot, ang balhibo naman sulod. So, dako kayo nagdiferensya. Okay? So, kalahian sa balot o sa itlog, timan ang balot, ang balhibo na sulod. Ang itlog, ang balhibo nas gawas. Okay? Unya, yes, kung ang itlog sa itik sipit-sipitan ra, basin mapusa na siya. Kapuya pag sipit murag. If I'm not wrong, itiks would take around, I think, 28 days to hatch. Unya, chicken eggs 21 days. So, og taas-taas magpailob, hala. Sipiti ng itlog sa itik sa sod sa 28 dias. Diba manimaho ng itik madugay. Alright? Padayon ha. Okay, again. What I was saying kaganiha, kids, was one, i-summarize yung sa hinabalaan. Pero, like I said, we do understand kung inyo lang i-copy-paste. Klaro kay style ninyo. Ano yun naman na ba? Mangita rin kag example, this one. Kuntahay mo ni, okay, kuntahay mo ni siya. Dugay man. So for example, this is your reference. Then International Rice Research Institute's contribution to rice varietal yield improvement in Southeast Asia. So example, you found something, kisang author ni Asia man 2011, wala naka-indicate. Okay. Isa. Wait, Brenman. Mo man siguro ning author, Brennan. His contribution to rice varietal Southeast Asia. Wa na. Diyan na. Mo na ni. This is how you cite your reference. I-indicate na nila daan din ha. So for example, ako lang yung kopyahon daan ha. Copy that one. What you would ari lang ko dire para dili ma kana lang. So kuntahay, I find this information dito ta. Example kani. Example lang. Kani, punta rin, naiuban season kayo. Drip, kini sir, okay dayon, kopyahon dayon na, usa ka paragraph, mo ni style na to, kasagaran, Control C, then ato din sa Word, dili lang sa Word, kaya para dili mo kuya ang formatting, ari lang ko sa notepad, i-paste dayon ako, Control V, butang dayon diha, ako ang reference, then, butangan dayon dire, og, Brennan, and Malabayabas. Okay, 2011. period. Wa na. So, actually, copying and pasting, okay, is not research, ha? It's not research. So, like I said, makasabot-sabot rami ninyo usahay. Okay, kami pod mismo are also having this problem. Most of the time, even co-teachers or ako mismo sa mo copy og important nga text and then just put the reference there. But like I said, it's wrong. So you cannot just copy verbatim. Example na. Next, use primary literature with citation. Do not include very specific, lengthy explanations. So background pa ni sa study. Literature review. So, actually, dili ning part nga literature review. Sa kuan lang ni siya gihapon. Part ra gihapon sa introduction. Okay? Dugaya na abot sa answer ni Marciano. 33 degrees Celsius. Ganiha na to na ko i-question. Grabe ang delay. Grabe ang delay. Okay? 33 is wrong. Natubag na nato kaganiya ha. Ang no, it's not brooding. Incubating temperature. Literature review. Padayon ta. Shows what has been done in the past and what is already known sa inyong hisgutan o unsay nabuhat na. Next is background information so that readers can understand why the study was performed. And then it shows that the author is familiar with research that has been carried out in his or her area. And then show how research is linked to an ever-expanding chain of research that is going on worldwide. So basically, mao ni atong hisgutan sa ato ang introduction. You start with an overview and then you talk about what is already known and then you give background information on what you intend to work on. Alright? Next. Teka po ba ni? Ikutasan ang yaw-yaw lagi. 11th slide of 20. Kamu na basa, tigulang naman mo. How many are you? 25. Right now, I have 25 kabuok estudyante online out of 3 sections, right? Out of 3 sections. So, mga around 1/3 ang naa. Statement of the problem. On sama ni siya. Justify the need for the current research by showing that there has not been enough research in this field or there have been problems or errors in previous research. Let me show you another example. Wait, wait sa mangita sa ko kadyot kay sa gamay ra kay tagpundo subject research sa Aquaponics arthropods. Wait. Wala naman dire kung example lagi. Papers. Python, Pogpon, authors. Kadyat lang sa guys ha. Kadyat lang. Rice advices, radar rice, argo rice. So, example. Here's another example. I think I used this reference before when I was working on my master's thesis. So, kini, this is an example of a journal article. Okay? Mao ni unta ang pinakanindot nga reference journal article. So, ang publisher is ang Elsevier. O niya, ang title sa journal is Remote Sensing of Environment. Okay? Ang title sa article is Capability of C-band Backscattering Coefficients from High-Resolution Satellite SAR Sensors to Assess Biophysical Variables in Paddy Rice. Okay, abstract ni siya. Okay, mo na yung title ha. In a way, I would expect nga libog pa mo, but basically what it does is iyang i-detect ang biophysical variables sa rice using C-band. Okay? Onya tanawa iyang introduction. Readable pa ba kahanin ninyo? I hope it's readable. Akong padakaan siya tayo. Kana siguro, no? A wide range of satellite sensors are available in the optical, thermal, microwave, and so on. In crop monitoring, no, for precision farming and yield forecasting, the timely observation of plant biophysical and ecophysiological status is critical. Okay? So, the time in crop monitoring no, or for precision farming and yield forecasting, importante ang observation of plant biophysical and ecophysiological status. High spatial resolution is required in observing regions with small and mosaic crops as in many countries in Asia. So, kumbaga, iyang isgutan og unsa diretso siya dayon sa problema. Mas mayo ni kini mo'y mga may laki. Ang journals manggod ing ani ni siya diretso ay, and then usa pa siya mihisgot nga sa crop dire wala pa siya naghisgot unsa nga crop sa first paragraph. Sa second paragraph, rice na iyang isgutan. Is an important stable crop in monsoon Asia. And then iyang isgutan ang paggamit og satellite to detect rice parameters. Okay? Unya human pag abot dinhi ang gamit sa microwave nga remote sensing, particularly C-band, ba niya ang mga band sa microwave. Okay? So, going back, showing there has not been enough research in the field. So, mo na siya. Then present persuasive arguments why the problem is important to study. Let me show you. Nganong ay saha methods naman eh. Mo ni yang isgutan oh. Kini. Unsa man ang shortcomings ang problem? Uncertainty in insufficient ground-based data relating to canopy biophysical. Naay uncertainty. Okay? Another reason is ang ambiguity sa earlier studies, lain-lain og results ko no. Therefore, ang objectives niya is to examine the consistency. Muna niya ang objectives karon. The objectives of this study were to examine the consistency of high-resolution C-band. So, ang mga results sa previous study lain-lain. So, karon iyang gi-examine og unsa ka consistent ang result. So, mao niyang iyang study karon. So, going back, dinhi atong ipresentar og unsay importansya sa atong study ngano ka naman nga study atong gikandak. Mao po na sa inyo ha kay kabalo ko dako kay ning problema ni ninyo niya ala hapit na ba maupos ang kuan semester niya asa pa mo napata sa topic niya antong topic wala pa nagkalimao hala patay mo karon. Next, statement of purpose, scope, hypothesis, and general method. Okay, so ay na lang ni unya na lang ni sa method unya na nato ni isgutan. Online sources daghan. If unya na lang nako ni gipulan ako. I'll make this available para magamit ninyo online. Okay, so if you have questions, okay, i-post lang palihog sa ato ang kuan sa ato ang page. Okay? Kung doon na mo yung mga questions, i-post. Pero kung karon, doon na mo yung question karon, I'm still here. Yeah, I will do my best to address those questions. Sige ko no niya. Oman pulaan, manggugo kay dugay kaayo mo. Mudangat. Mo pa'y pag-question ako ron, 10 minutes later, mo pa'y pagdangat sa kuan. Pagdangat sa inyohang questions. Okay? Sige, I'll wait for a while. Excuse me. Again ha, I will be giving you another task. Nya, ang kuan ang akong singan ining sa to pataka lang ko yaw-yaw man nag-abri mo kong cellphone nawala akong attention. Sorry. Sa to? Yes, ang task ninyo. So I'll be giving another task. This time you will be submitting your topic or title and the objectives. Okay? Unsaon pagsuwat ang objectives, doon na nakoy examples ninyo. You write using the verbs that I gave you before. I'll try to find another reference put online on how to write the objectives para dili mo maglisod og maayo. Okay? Wala questions? Wala questions, kids? Wait. Objectives of the study. May daghan yung mga basahon gyud unta oh. Slide share, writing research objectives. Just daghan kay references online if ana oh tanawa oh. I just search kamo pwede ra how to write the objectives of the study. Okay? I just searched that one. What did it say? How to write the objectives of the study. Tanawa ng gawas. Writing your research objectives clearly helps to define the focus, clearly identify the variables. Naara gyud. Ito ning i-open pa gyud, Open University. And then diyan ako gi-open. Oh, diyan na oh, slide share ni. Kining mga mga Indiano abdik yung kayo. Wait. Writing research objectives. Maura ni. What are you doing and how are you doing? Articulating your aims and objectives. Okay? So daghan kaayo. You can go online and read this. Ha? Ethics. So daghan ra kaayo mo. So this time, like I said, I will be asking you your objectives. Ha? Objectives ako. Your title and or topic and then your objectives. You submit it next week. I will be posting shortly sa next task ninyo. So, I think we're done for the day. Thank you for staying with me. 19 lang ka mo ganiya. Daghan-daghan pa man mo. Si Suna eh. Alright? Sige, mag-bye-bye ko ninyo. Magkahiyos lagi. Wala na data, choy. 19 na lang yun. Sige, sige. Bye-bye. And yeah, I will be posting the new task. Yeah, submit niyo next week. Bye-bye. If you have questions, just post sa ato ang group. Okay? Bye guys. See you next week. Napod. Sunod. Alright?